What's up everyone, my name is Alpha and today we're back with another Pokemon Hardcore Nuzlocke video. Today we're on Pokemon X and Y and today's challenge will be can I beat Pokemon X and Y Hardcore Nuzlocke ground type shiny only. This is going to be an interesting shiny video for this week. So firstly, by running down the rules real quick, all the rules are on screen right now. You guys want to pause it and read it through. So basic Nuzlocke rule sets with a hardcore addition to it to make it extra hard, and as well the most important rule of each of my challenge videos. Each of my Pokemon will be nicknamed after you guys in the comments, so thank you so much for leaving a comment in my previous challenge videos. I read all my comments, so if you guys want to be nicknamed after a Pokemon in my future challenge videos, just drop in the comments and hopefully I'll pick yours. And while you're down there, please leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps out the channel as it will push me into recommended, and it also shows me that you guys really want this series to continue. I think that's everything we should cover in the intro. Let's get into the challenge video itself. So to start off with, obviously there is no ground type starter Pokemon in X and Y, so we have to get through the starter and tutorial of the game and head into Route 2. Someone actually told me Route 1 was like right in between like the place where you're about to get your starter and your house in the game. So Route 2, for some reason they label it as Route 2. There is technically a ground type Pokemon you can capture in here. The first ground type Pokemon you could quote unquote capture is a Bunnelby that will evolve into a Diggersby that will be a ground type Pokemon. So we're gonna search out in here and try to find ourselves a shiny Bunnelby. We end up finding it and it's actually a pretty decent shiny Pokemon. This is actually underrated. I've never seen people actually really use them. It's actually pretty nice looking. So from there though, we're going to head into the first gym of the game. Of course, Bunnelby is only a pure normal type right now. So going into the first gym, we're going to clear through the first gym and then we're going to have access into actual ground type Pokemon right after this. So we're going to face off against the first gym leader in the game. We're going to face off against Viola. Viola's going to start the battle off against us using a Surge Kit. We're going to double slap it because double slap has a higher chance of actually doing more damage than all my other moves in my moveset. Double Slap will put the Surge Kit in range of a quick attack and also use up his potions. So eventually, once the Vivillon comes out next, we gotta double slap it down and we gotta outspeed it at the end with a quick attack. Luckily enough, we barely survive against the Vivillon, and hold on, and this challenge continues as we almost lost the first meaningful battle with our Bunnelby. But we end up beating the Vivillon and we can move on into the next part of the game. Now fighting against this trainer, this is a random Psyduck trainer, but once we beat him, we actually evolve our Bunnelby into a Diggersby, which will be the first ground type Pokemon we have. So finally, this ground type video has a ground type Pokemon. Now the next area we could go into is this large patch of grass right outside of the Pokemon Mansion. You can find yourselves a very odd ground type Pokemon in Nincada. I forgot Nincada is even ground type Pokemon, because no one really uses Nincada. People use this Shedinja and Ninjas, but in our challenge video we have to use Nincada. We can't evolve it into a Ninjas or a Shedinja, so we have to use purely only Nincada. We can't evolve it at all. So we're gonna hunt out for a shiny Nincada and add it to our team. I assume it's not gonna make it to the end, I'm not gonna lie. And from there though, we're gonna head into Route 7, I believe. In here, this rocky road, and there's two ground type Pokemon that we're able to catch here are gonna be Hippopotas and also Sandile. Either one we don't mind getting. They both are pretty decent Pokemon, but we can only capture one per Nuzlocke rule. And luckily we actually found ourselves a Sandile in here, and special and even more special, this is a Sandile that has Moxie as an ability and not Intimidate, which I didn't mind whichever, but this one has Moxie. You can tell because it didn't prop up with Intimidate at the start of the battle. So we can capture the Sandile and have it on our team as we move on into Glittering Cave. Glittering Cave is going to be the next spot for us to have another few ground type Pokemon in here. There's like 3 or so. You get Cubone, you get Rhyhorn, or you can get an Onix. I would not mind to have a Marowak or a Rhydon on my team. Unfortunately though, we got ourselves an Onix, and this shiny Onix isn't too bad, but it's just it can evolve because we don't have a trading device with us. So we're going to capture this Onix and add it to our team. And we're not done yet. We're going to move on into Route 9, I believe. And in Route 9, we're able to search out in the grass here to find our next ground type Pokemon. In here, you're able to find yourselves Golett, and Golett is the only ground type Pokemon in this route, so we're able to catch Golett. Unfortunately enough, Eevee does not evolve into a ground type Pokemon, or we could also shiny hunt for an Eevee. So we're going to add this Golett to our team and move on into the second gym of the game. There's a lot of shiny hunting before even the second gym of the game. There is such a large gap between the first gym and the second gym. Anyways, we're going to face out against the second gym in the game against Grant. We're going to start the battle off against him using my Diggersby. Now Diggersby has a move called Double Kick, which is a fighting move. It's going to one-shot down the Amora and then two-shot down the Tyrant. And unfortunately for Grant, this probably is the worst matchup he can have against me, because on pure ground types, I'm always super affected against them. I was worried that the refrigerate takedown might knock me out, but lucky enough I do beat Grant very easily, and we can move on into Route 10. Now in Route 10, there is another ground type Pokemon for us to capture. Using the Horde encounters, I could reset every time I run out of honey, and I keep finding Horde Pokemons. Eventually we're able to find ourselves a shiny Nidoran in the Horde, and we're able to capture it and put it on our team. And since we're right outside of Reflection Cave, we're able to get ourselves a Moonstone, evolve this Nidoran into a Nidoking before the next gym in the game. Being in the next gym, we're going to face off against the third gym leader in the game. We're going to face off against Karena. Karena's going to be the fighting type gym leader, and she's going to start the battle off against us using a Minfu. I start the battle off using my very cool Nidoking. Nidoking is going to blitz into the Minfu and knock him out very easily with a poison jab. And also the Halucha gets poison jabbed to his face. I do take a flying press though. It does get pretty annoying. It does a lot of damage to me, and eventually I'm able to knock him out. And then her final Pokemon will be a Machoke. Her Machoke isn't too threatening. I stayed in, knock it out with a poison jab. I do take an attack, but eventually I'm going to two-shot him and get the third gym badge for us, as Nidoking is one of my favorite Pokemon. It just looks so cool, especially with the blue color scheme. It's very nice looking. Now we move on into the fourth gym of the game. We're going to face off against Ramos here. Before we actually do though, as you can see, I'm scaling through the puzzle of the fourth gym, and unfortunately my Pokemon actually reaches a higher level than I expect. It actually went past the level cap. My Nidoking went past the level cap on accident, and it went to 35. So at this point I can't use my Nidoking at all. I have to go back and deposit it before we face off against Ramos, and I was excited to use Nidoking because it would have swept through Ramos easily. So we're going to start the battle off against Ramos without my Nidoking on my team because he's disqualified. We'll start the battle off against the Jump Bluff using my Golett to Rock Tomb into the Jump Bluff. I take a Grass Knot luckily, and I Rock Tomb again would knock him out. Then I'm going to switch out my Golett into my Nincada to do some chip damage against the Weeping Bell, because I want to do enough chip damage to where I can switch into my Croc Rock in between the acid attacks and then knock him out using a Crunch. And then his next Pokemon is going to be a Go-Goat, obviously. I don't want to risk it because Go-Goat might actually one-shot me, but I have to do what I have to do. Crunch is going to do half to the Go-Goat, and now I'm not going to risk it because obviously going to outspeed me, and a takedown will knock me out. So I got to go out and sack my Nincada against him. I can't switch out to my Onix or it will get one-shotted by the Grass Knot as well. So I have to sack up my Nincada and then switch out into my Diggersby. Diggersby's going to get a Power Punch against him and eventually knock him out, which is lucky for me because Return is max. I think Return is max power at this point, which is very, very good because Return is stab and also just a high base attack. It's like 100 power or something. So we beat Ramos, but unfortunately we put a death on our death counter in Nincada. But we're not going to have a missing member, as you can see, as I'm moving into Route 13. Route 13 is going to be the desert area in the game, and we're able to find ourselves our next shiny Pokemon. We're able to encounter our shiny Trapinch, which is okay. I mean, I was really looking for Gibble. I really didn't want a Dugtrio, but a Trapinch is mediocre. It's pretty good. We'll add it to our team and move on into the next area of the game. We're going to go into Lumio City and then go into the Poke Centers to find ourselves a TM for Bodos, because we've got to get it the first time here. So once we get Bodos, we're going to face off against the 5th gym leader in the game. We're going to face off against Clement. Clement's going to be the electric type gym leader in the game and start the battle off against us using an Amoga. Normally it's pretty difficult, but I do have my Nidoking to knock him out with 2 poison jabs. He also gets poisoned, so this is great. Use up his healing items. I get static, which is annoying, but I know most of his team can't really do anything as he goes out to the Magneton. He can set up electric terrain, which is completely useless for him. I go for Bodos and I knock out the Magneton in 2 shots. He misses his mirror shot too, and then he goes out to his Heliolisk, and his Heliolisk cannot do anything to me because obviously I'm a ground type. I'm a Bodos, knock out the Heliolisk, and move on from there. We're going to move on into the next gym in the game. We're going to move on into the 6th gym. We're going to face off against Valerie. Valerie is going to be the fairy type gym leader in the game. We're going to start the battle off against her using my Nidoking. I really love Nidoking, if you guys can't tell. I'm going to Bodos twice into her Mawile to knock him out fairly easily. And then she can switch out into her Mr. Mime, which can one-shot it to its face with a Poison Jab. Because Poison Jab Nidoking is just something else. And then she goes out into a Sylveon, which also gets one-shotted to its face. And Sylveon also goes down. And I mean, that was pretty simple. Wasn't even a gym fight. I don't know why they only have 3 Pokemon. They should have a little more. Would have made it more interesting. As we're going to move on into Frost Cavern. In Frost Cavern, there is another Pokemon for us to capture. Though we have a full team, it might be useful to have just in case. we're gonna capture ourselves a shiny Piloswine, which is gonna evolve into a Mamoswine, which is also a very good Pokemon that I really like. So we're gonna eventually capture this Piloswine, add it to our box so we can have it just in case, and then we're gonna move on and face off against Olympia next. Olympia is gonna be the Psychic type gym leader in the game. Then she's gonna start the battle off against us using a Sigilyph. I'm gonna start the battle off against her using my Crocodile to crunch into it, one-shot it, get my attack race as well, and then crunch into the Slowking to knock him out as well. And you can assume what I did with the Meowstic. I also crunched it and knocked him out. So again, 3 Pokemon is not a lot of Pokemon to play around with, and that was a pathetic gym. These 3 gyms are very bad. From there though, we're gonna head into Team Flare's hideout. The first fight against Lysander wasn't too much of an issue. We had a bit of troubles here and there. However, this random battle against Eurosix is well, surprising, because we knock out his Crobat very easily, and then he switches out into his Malamar, which I know is going to use superpower. Okay, he gets boosted out. I'm going to go out to my Golurk. Golurk, you know, he has Dynamic Punch, he has all these fun moves to use. I'm going to Shadow Punch him, it's super effective, and then he goes out into a payback to one-shot my Golurk. I'm like, what? I've never seen this Malamar use anything else besides superpower, and at this point, I was just stunned. I just lost my Golurk randomly against a Team Flare member. So I'm a Mega Horn, knock him out easily. We don't lose any other Pokemon, but why did he have payback out of all the moves possible? From there, we're going to face up against Xerneas and capture Xerneas. We're also going to add Piloswine and evolve him into a Mamoswine and add him to my team. And then we're going to face off against Lysander in the final villain fight. So we're going to start the battle off against him using my Flygon to fly into his Meowscarada to knock him out with one shot. And then he's going to switch out to his Pyro, which isn't going to do too much as I'm able to Bodos and Rock Slide to knock him out. Following that, he's going to go out to his Honchkrow, which also gets one shot to his face. And his last Pokemon will be a Mega Gyarados, which gets intimidated off against me, but I'm switching out into my Onix. I was planning to sack my Onix, I'm not going to lie. But I take an Outrage. I'm going to hit the Gyarados with a Bodos so I can outspeed for sure in the following turn. He's going to hit me with an Outrage as I switch out into my Nidoking. Nidoking is going to outspeed the Gyarados and Mega Horn to knock him out with one shot and avoid any losing Pokemon. So from there, we're going to move out into the 8th gym of the game, and we're going to face off against Warframe next. Warframe is going to be the Ice type gym leader in the game, and we're going to start the battle off against him using my Nidoking. Now, Nidoking got taught something that's actually very useful. He got taught Fire Blast to one-shot against a Bombstone and knock him out. Then he's going to follow up that with a Cryogonal. I decided to switch out my Nidoking into my Mamoswine to eventually Rock Tomb him down. I'll actually end up knocking out his Cryogonal as he switches out to his Avlok. I do get an Ancient Power against him, but I was looking for a Stat Boost. He gets a Curse Up, and I know he's going to knock me out, so I switch out to my Onix next. He's getting Curse Up once again, and no, nothing's gonna beat this thing. So he's gonna knock me out with an Avalanche. Unfortunately, I decided to switch out to my Nidoking. Because Avlok has very poor special defense, I go for a Fire Blast to knock him out, and it ends up working out as I knock out the Avlok, but we do lose our Onix. Luckily enough, we get all 8 gym badges. Unfortunately enough, we have to go back and shiny hunt a little more. Now the last Pokemon to shiny hunt is on Route 18. There's a few ground type Pokemon you can shiny hunt for. Luckily enough, we got the ones we wanted. We got ourselves a shiny Sandslash. We got our little shiny Hedgehog. I think he's a Hedgehog, right? We're gonna capture ourselves a Sandslash and move on into Victory Road. Victory Road is not too difficult at all. As you see, me sweeping down our rival with my Crocodile Moxie is super simple. And then from there, we're gonna move on into the Pokemon League and face off against the Elite Four themselves. The first Elite Four member I want to face off against is Silberg, to make sure I face him at full strength, because obviously I have a ground team and he is a water type Elite Four member. Silberg's gonna start the battle off against us using a Clawitzer. Then the Clawitzer is going to be a massive threat to my team, so I want to start the battle off against him using my Sandslash to Earthquake him, do enough damage to where I always die to a water post, but I'll go out into my Crocodile to knock him out and get a Moxie boost. This Moxie boost is very important. I knew I couldn't one-shot him, so I need to knock him out and then get a boost, and then Earthquake once again to the Barbarical to get another Moxie boost. He goes out to the Starmie, which outspeeds me, which surprised me, but it's gonna Light Screen me as I'm able to Earthquake knock him out as well. And at this point, I'm +3 up against him. He's gonna go out to his Gyarados. I'm able to Rock Tomb him, lower his speed, and then keep his speed the same as he goes for a Dragon Dance, and I'm able to crunch him, knock him out, and we beat down Silberg. And that is all she wrote. Now moving on, we're going to face out against Malva next. Malva is going to be the Fire type Elite Four member of the game. We're going to start the battle off against her using my Diggersby. Diggersby is going to get a nice Swords Dance off. She goes for a Noble Roar, which actually I go down to +1. So an Earthquake will knock out the Pyro anyways. And then she can switch out to her Talonflame, which I'm like, I can't switch out into anything. So I'm going to stay in, take a Flare Blitz, which is nice. And then Rock Tomb will knock him out. Fantastic. and then she can switch out to her Torkoal next. I'm not going to stay in. I decided to go out into my Crocodile. Crocodile is going to Earthquake and knock her out, both her Torkoal and her Chandelier, as we beat down the second Elite Four member. Moving on, we're going to face off against Wingstrom. Wingstrom is going to be a Steel type Elite Four member of the game, and we're going to start the battle off against him using my Diggersby. Diggersby is going to get a free Sword Dance off against him, as I'm able to Earthquake in the following turn to knock out the Klefki, and then he decides to switch out into his Aegislash, which, I mean, I should have Sword Dance right in front of him, but he goes for a King's Shield up. I'm going for an Earthquake to knock him out regardless, and he goes down in one shot. Probopass comes out next. I'm able to return into the Probopass, take a Flash Cannon, and also Sword Dance once again, and then I go for an Earthquake to knock out the Probopass. I wanted to Sword Dance up so I could one-shot a Scizor with my Earthquake, as I do. One-shot, knock out the Scizor, and then we beat Wingstrom, and then from there we can move on and face off against Drasna. Drasna is going to be the Dragon type Elite Four member of the game. We're going to start the battle off against her using my Mamoswine. Mamoswine is going to immediately Earthquake and knock out her Dragolich, which is free. She then is going to switch out to a Noivern, which I get Ice Fang off, take a Flamethrower very easily, and then Ice Fang to knock him out. Take 2. Oh, I missed the first one, I guess. So I'll knock her out and live with 4 HP. And then her Druddigon will come out next. So I decided to go out to my Crocodile because it does have a ground move. It goes for a Revenge. It will knock me out if I attack it. So I decided to go out to my Nidoking. Nidoking has Poison Jab to poison him down. And then he's going to Dragon Tail me out back into my Crocodile. At this point, I can just Outrage and knock out the Druddigon, get a Moxie Boost, and also knock out the Altaria in one shot. And that is it for the Elite Four. Now moving on, we're going to face off against the champion of the game. We're going to face off against Diantha. Diantha is going to be the champion of Kalos, and she's going to start the battle off against us using a Halalucha. I'm going to start the battle off using my Flygon to fly up and one-shot her. My whole game plan here is to get my Crocodile in safely to sweep her team, but I need to get rid of some threats, starting with Halalucha first, and then the Auroras comes out next. I don't really have a plan here, but I decided to go out to my Mamoswine because it's the only thing that can take an ice move. So I'm able to Earthquake it, one-shot it, and knock him out. Then she's going to switch out to her Goodra next. I decided to go out for an Ice Fang. An Ice Fang almost one-shots it. I take a Fire Blast from the Goodra, as I'm able to just keep Ice Fanging to eventually knock out the Goodra. Now after the Goodra goes down, she can switch out into her Gourgeist, which allows me to go into my Nidoking, which will force it into a Phantom Force, which I'm able to go out into my Crocodile. Now once I'm out with my Crocodile, I'm able to knock out the Gourgeist and get a Moxie Boost against him. Then she can switch out to her Tyrantrum, which that means I'm going to Earthquake it and also knock him out. Get a +2 with my Moxie, and also her final opponent will be a Mega Gardevoir, which I'm able to Earthquake once again, knock it out, and we cleanly beat Diantha and the entire Elite Four with only losing a single Pokemon this entire time, which gotta be a huge thing. I only lose Sandslash, and I purposely lost Sandslash too. I possibly could have been the entire Elite Four without losing a single Pokemon. But you know what, we had to sack Sandslash because that was the game plan. Anyways, that will be it. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. I hope you guys all enjoyed this hardcore Nuzlocke video. If you guys can, please leave a like, comment down below some challenge ideas or what typing you guys want me to see, and what game you guys want me to play on. Anyways, my name is Malva. Hope you guys all had a great day, and I'm out. Peace.